It bothers me that we allowed President Joe Biden, and I taught you all this last year. I have yet to be wrong on a political prediction yet. I taught you all this last year. I have yet to be wrong on a political prediction yet. I told you Joe Biden federalized Juneteenth to kill Juneteenth. Did I not say that 1 year ago? Did I not make that political prediction 1 year ago? Juneteenth was made a federal holiday because it is the last authentically black celebration left in this country. They co-opted Kwanzaa. They co-opted Dr. King's birthday. They co-opted Black History Month. The only authentically black celebration left was Juneteenth. Joe Biden knew to get rid of black folks, he had to get rid of Juneteenth. So what did he do? He made it a federal holiday, which opened every Juneteenth festival up to funding from corporate America and the white governmental power structure. Once he made Juneteenth a federal holiday, that automatically opened Juneteenth up to white corporate sponsorship and white governmental power structure funding. And you know black people love white people's money. You know black people love white people's money. You know black people love white people's money. And the minute Juneteenth became a federal holiday, every Juneteenth organizer in America, as soon as Juneteenth became a federal holiday, every Negro Juneteenth committee in America, except for a few, and I want to give kudos to every Juneteenth committee that still refuses to be subsidized by non-African people. I want to salute you. If you are still an authentically self-controlled, self-funded Juneteenth celebration, I salute you. If you are a totally self-contained, self-controlled, no government funding, no corporate funding, no Chinese funding, no Arab funding, no Mexican funding, if you are still an authentically black Juneteenth celebration committee, I salute you. I salute you. I salute you. But for all of you who have been co-opted by taking that damn money, all of you other Juneteenth organizers who have been co-opted by taking government funds and corporate funds, on behalf of my African ancestors, on behalf of my African ancestors, I want you to know they are upset and disappointed in you. On behalf of all of my African ancestors, I want you to know that they are upset and disappointed in all of you Negroes who are celebrating black freedom with white money. Can somebody help me understand the hypocrisy? Can somebody help me understand the contradiction? Can somebody help me understand the irony? How do you celebrate the end of slavery with financial re-enslavement? How do you celebrate the end of slavery with financial re-enslavement? You are voluntarily putting yourself under the control of the U.S. government. You are voluntarily putting yourself under the control of white corporate America in the name of black freedom and the end of slavery. If that's not a contradiction, if that is not a contradiction, how am I going to celebrate freedom from the white man as I take money from the white man that re-enslaves me to the white man? How do I celebrate freedom from the white man? As I take money from the white man, which re-enslaves me financially to the white power structure. You cannot be an effective activist, revolutionary, leader, or organizer if you don't think you can exist without white money. Because the first thing you have to free yourself of in the war for freedom, the first thing you have to free yourself of in the war for freedom, the first thing you must free yourself of in the war for freedom is freedom from dependency on white dollars, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. If you can't free yourself from white dollars, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies, then don't ever tell me you believe in black freedom. This is why the NAACP is a contradiction. This is why the Urban League is a contradiction. This is why every black politician is a contradiction. Because all of you are funded by the same power structure you're supposed to be fighting for your people's freedom. All of you are funded by the same power structure you're supposed to be fighting for your people's freedom. You're giving out resources to other groups, and you know what Joe Biden gave us? He gave us, no, he gave you a Juneteenth picnic, nigga! On June 19th, there was a picnic on the White House lawn for Juneteenth. I couldn't believe y'all moved that, man. Everybody who went to the Joe Biden Juneteenth cookout, beat their ass with. A damn cookout for Juneteenth. Be no damn ribs like a damn old ribs. And guess what? They wasn't done. Because the very next month, your vice president, well, she part-time black and part-time Israel, depending on where you catch it. Kamala Harris had a cookout to celebrate 50 years of hip-hop. No. I'm trying to understand how the gays is getting laws and money, Asians is getting laws and money, Native Americans laws and money, immigrants laws and money, and you get ribs and chicken. Do you realize how disrespectful that was to us?
Yes, it is. Yes,
and y'all went. Anybody here was at one of them damn cookouts? Don't lie. I saw you! And as we talk about reparations, which I support, Pan-Africanism, we gave birth to reparations. I didn't have it before us. We did that. Everybody else jumped on social media to make a name for themselves. But don't let reparations distract you from the fact you got other problems that can't wait for no damn check from the White House. Because what the media is doing right now, they're distracting black America with an exclusive conversation on reparations. What about gentrification? What about the black homelessness rate, which is at the highest rate it's been since Dr. King? What about police genocide and mass incarceration? Have you seen the amount of time they're giving black people in jail for petty crimes? Yeah. I just seen a clip of a brother who was given about 50 years in prison for stealing something that was worth $100. The biggest war that we are ignoring is the criminal injustice war. Same thing with Brendan. You know how many years Brendan can get? He can get 30 years for beating that teacher. 30 years. Why is that a problem? How many of y'all remember A.J. Owens, the black woman in Florida who was shot through the locked metal door by the white still running? Y'all remember that case? A.J. Owens, rest in peace. She went back to the white woman's house to get her child's iPad or sticks, and the white woman shot her through the locked metal door. Well, guess what? She's in jail too, being held on bond just like Brendan. And guess what's the maximum she can do? 30 years. I'm going to say it again. Brendan Devil punched his teacher's assistant in the head. She's not dead. She ain't losing no organs. She's not disfigured at all. He can get 30 years. The white woman who shot and murdered a single black mother in front of her children with a gun through a locked metal door can get the same amount of time as a black boy who punched the teacher's head. Welcome to Florida, Governor DeSantis. And let me say this, because I know we up in arms about Governor DeSantis saying you can't teach slavery and you can't teach racism, which is wrong, because he said it harms the self-esteem of white kids. But y'all been harming the self-esteem of black kids since the beginning of time. Calling us monkeys and animals and bones in your nose, but that was okay. But white privilege says white kids should not be made ashamed for how America became great. But here's my point to you all in Florida. If you don't like what Governor DeSantis did, why can't you teach your own children black history like that? I don't even know what the problem is, Jacksonville, Florida, because Dr. Carter G. Woodson on this day, 98 years ago, he didn't go to white people and say, teach black kids the history. He taught them themselves. So why is it we got all these PhDs in African studies? You got PhDs in African studies from FAMU, PhDs in African studies from all these HBCUs around the country. Temple University of Philly, we started it with a PWI. All these PhDs in African studies. But nobody would volunteer to teach kids who they are. Yeah. See what's going on? Because Negroes are thirsty for money. They want to be paid. They're not coming here to volunteer. Because one thing you've got to realize about the black conscious elite, they just as bougie as the niggas in the White House. With a dashiki on. Yes! With a green smoothie and some incense. Yes! Talk to me about no conscious bougie. They just as bougie as everybody else.